classes, if you've ever been to Disney World, the very first time is overwhelming. The second time, you know exactly what lines are worth waiting, in. You know which rides are not worth waiting in line for. And that's kind of how this works. The more experience you can get with it, the better you'll be when the time comes when you're actually trying to get those opportunities from the recruiters. And the last thing I'll say about that is, if you attend one of these virtual information sessions or career fairs your freshman year and you ask a recruiter at, let's say, BMW, when I apply to your co-op program, what do you want to see on my resume? And they'll tell you, well, next year you need to have these things done. If you do those things and show back up the next year, your sophomore year, when you're ready to try to find that semester away, they're going to remember that you did those things. And that is how you build relationships with recruiters that will produce much better results for you. Some of the places that our ARCH students go, they go all over the world, as Dr. Powell and Director Felder mentioned. And it really is up to you completely, wherever you want to go. If you tell us in enough time, we will go and try and find an opportunity at whatever company, in whatever country, in whatever part of the world you want to go to. Just a few that I put up here. We do have folks that regularly every semester do an internship with BIOS in Bermuda. Of course, you've heard of NASA. They have facilities all over the country, so we do support those. We just had 15 new positions posted last week with NASA, actually. BMW is a European company, but they have facilities all over North America. They also have them all over the world. Northrop Grumman is a huge defense contractor. We have a lot of students that work with companies like Northrop Grumman. And then we also have very altruistic-minded students. And these are students who would prefer to do the civic engagement opportunity. And so we put the Humane Society there because we routinely have students that go there. But it could really be with any place, like Oxfam. It could be with any organization that you wanted to go work for and make sort of an altruistic impact. So that's kind of what my office does to support the ARCH program. We are super excited to welcome any student that decides to take on the challenge of coming to RPI, and we look forward to working with you. So this is how you can reach us. As soon as you make your decision on where you'd like to go, we'd love to hear from you and see how we can start to help. So I think at this point, I am going to turn it over to some amazing students that they're going to share their experience. And again, thank you for coming today.
Hello, everyone. So my name's Audrey Sandonado. I'm a senior right now at Rensselaer. I'm studying mechanical engineering. I'm getting a minor in computer science. I'm from Massachusetts. Some things I'm involved in on campus are Greek Life, SWE, and Bwenzi. Bwenzi is like a nonprofit organization. We raise money for this community in Africa. It started out by us making life nets for them to protect from mosquitoes, and now it's expanded. So anywho, I was able to participate in the ARCH after my sophomore semester. Thankfully, at the time, it was completely in person, so I got to experience Troy in the summer, which was really awesome. My favorite part of ARCH, and it's been my favorite semester so far at RPI because there was so much to do. The campus was beautiful in the summer. I'd go outside, sit down on the fields, do homework there and stuff. So I really enjoyed having it in person and having it or whatever. So anywho, my away semester, I was lucky enough to get a program management co-op at Medtronic. It was back in Massachusetts, so it was nice I got to stay at home. And what I really liked about the ARCH experience is the fact that it gives you the opportunity to do a co-op without having to take an extra semester at school. I didn't realize it until I had an internship this past summer. It was also partially in person too, so I got to compare the two pretty well. And what I realized is I learned so much more when I got to spend a lot longer time at a company. So this past summer I did an internship that was more just mechanical engineering, and I learned a lot. It was more interesting compared to the program management at the time, but I really appreciated how much I got to grow with that company, especially it was my first ever co-op internship experience. So I really appreciate that, and that's why I really enjoyed the ARCH program too, especially the away part. And I definitely recommend it to anyone. I know there's some students that uh, want to get out of it to graduate early, but I tell them do it anyway. It's worth it just to go and get that experience. It's definitely worth. The co-ops are awesome. And so I got that I applied to a bunch of places, which also helped me too. I learned a lot just from reaching out to different companies, any connections I had, or I tried to make more connections. But again, my favorite part, the reason why it was my favorite semester was just the Troy area. There was so much to do. You can see my quote. I went whitewater rafting. RPI hosted a trip, which was super fun. We also would go, my friends and I, we went hiking to hot air balloon festivals in the area. There's the farmers market in downtown Troy. So it was really nice because, like during the week, I would work hard with my classes. But then on the weekends, we would always go for trips in the area, go to Saratoga. They have the horse races up there. And so it was nice, without having the snow and stuff. I really got to take advantage of the Troy area, which I don't think I would have ever been able to do if I wasn't here in the summer. So that's a little bit about my Arch experience. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. My name is Billy Chizzo, and I am a junior biomedical engineer, and I'm from Gig Harbor, Washington. And some activities that I'm involved in on campus are the varsity men's soccer team, and I'm also a member of Engineers Without Borders, which is a club that their goal is to build a better world through engineering projects and work very closely with communities and to empower them to help them meet their basic needs. We have a local project in Troy, which I'm a member of, where we're building a rainwater catchment system for a community garden. We also have projects in Nicaragua and Panama that include providing irrigation systems as well as electricity to power schools and buildings. And then I'm also a member of Greek Life at Pi Kappa Alpha. And I had a remote summer semester this summer, which was obviously not planned for, but I greatly enjoyed. I was able to take a number of professional development courses, and because the class sizes were smaller, I was able to have closer interactions with teachers and some of my peers and get very good feedback as I worked on developing the sell of myself, which I'm going to use to communicate with companies now as I am applying for internships. And as a biomedical engineer, I'm going to be taking my away semester in the spring, which enables me to have apply for co-ops that can last from the spring to summer, which is very attractive to companies, especially for biomedical engineering. They're looking for positions and students who are willing to be there for multiple months so that you can be trained and then also foster and grow with the company, as Audrey was talking about. And I think that I also benefited because now I'm back on campus or back at Troy, living off campus, and I'm cooking for myself. So over the summer, I spent a lot of time cooking with my mom and learning lots of recipes that I'm now using to make sure that I am eating enough food and eating enough healthy food now. And I think that the Arch semester was very key in developing a new kind of work ethic. The courses are accelerated, but I think that through this, I really was able to deepen my actual love and passion for biomedical engineer, and experiencing it every single day over the summer helped kind of reaffirm that this is what I'm excited to be doing and what I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life. So thank you.
Thank you, Billy, and thank you, Audrey, for just giving us a little bit of your personal experience, because I think personal experience is always the best thing. Everyone is able to really talk about their perspective and what their experience is really like. And so it's just awesome to hear those different elements of what you loved, what was great, what you took away from it. And so that's what we definitely want other students to have the ability to do. I think when it comes to your college career in general, everything is not going to go peaches and cream, smooth transitions and sailing. But the most important thing is you're able to move through those ebbs and flows with resilience and be able to have those renowned experiences to where you are seen as the professionals, because what you're learning in the classroom and the pedagogy that is being provided, you then take that theory and you go and do the application. The Arch is really just applying what you've learned in all of your different classes. And I would say if there is any particular class that helped you prepare for your semester away experience, right? Those are the kinds of things that you want to develop those skills in the first and second year, because some of those courses are going to be pivotal to how you land those positions with those different companies. So I want to say thank you again to Audrey and to Billy. And so we are going to now move into the portion of the presentation where you guys can ask us the different questions that you have. But I also want to plug that you follow our RPI Office of Admissions on our social media platforms. We have Twitter, we have Raise Me, we have Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. But Instagram is the one where we are kicking it up a notch. So follow us at RPI Admissions so that you are able to stay on top of everything that is happening with the RPI admissions process. And so without further ado, we are going to jump into the questions that we have here. And I'm going to, okay. All right, so Jacob said, are class sizes during the arch smaller, or are they simply just less classes? That's a great question, Jacob. The arch class size is smaller because it is a less amount of students on campus. In the fall and spring term, you have 4 cohorts and the addition of the graduate students on campus in the fall and spring. But in the summer term, it is just the arch cohort. So you have that one cohort on campus in addition to any stealth summer students who are just generally taking courses. So yes, class sizes are smaller in the summer, and you do have the opportunity to build better faculty relationships that way. David asked, can I get paid for the work I do in the arch? Director Bruce, you want to tackle that?
Well, so I'm not sure I 100% understand your question, Jacob, but let me break it down like this. So during your arch summer term, you're going to be taking classes, and no, you would not get paid for that. However, your semester away, right, which will take place the junior year, either your fall or spring, you absolutely will get paid if you do an internship or a co-op. Even some civic engagement experiences would pay. And just to give you an idea, so it obviously varies depending on where you go work. But let's say the typical mechanical engineer in the Dallas-Fort Worth area is going to be pulling about $30 an hour for their experience. If you're in biomed, like Billy was, and he's looking for a co-op this spring and this summer, you know, a co-op is a little bit longer experience. It spans 2 semesters. And for that type of an investment, a company is going to be looking to pay you a good bit of money an hour. So along with relocation expenses, which obviously in the past 6 months, right, with COVID, we haven't had a lot of people moving around the country to take advantage of internships. A lot of them have been converted to virtual. So you do see a good bit of pay in the hourly positions in that situation. But if we do get to a better place and people can go back to in-person type situations, there are a lot of companies that will pay relocation expenses, as well as they even have on-site housing. So yes is the answer to the semester away being paid.
Okay, thank you for that. Our next one is Jessica D. How would one pursue the early arch program, and for who would it be recommended for? So the early arch the early arch summer term really is what it is the opportunity for students upon entering Rensselaer who come in with an acceleration of credits. When they enter Rensselaer, they're able to pursue the arch summer term early, which is it is done in the freshman summer instead of after the sophomore year summer. And so what that does is it really just provides a little bit more flexibility for those students to pursue the early arch program. And thank you to Teresa. There is a link in there below that gives you all the info you need on early arch. And she's tagged that there for you, okay? Next question is there guidance available in looking for internships and co-ops for other times during your college experience, i.e. before
Absolutely is the
or
answer to
after
that.
the
And
art
if you
summer
remember in my
semester?
part of the presentation, when I was describing the career development team to you all, that is where you start. And literally on day one, you can email that person and get an appointment set up. And that's important to do that because we need to know what to tell you to do. Like, so for the next question, what career related events do freshmen typically pursue? Well, that depends on what their major is and what their career goals are. And if you can come your freshman year to help us understand what those are, then we can tell you what career related events you should be participating in, what recruiters like to hear from freshmen and which ones to stay away from until your junior year. But all of that is really major dependent and really individual to what you want. And that's what I'm trying to say is we want to provide a custom experience for you the day you step foot on this campus until the day you leave us to go do amazing things. So yes.
And Director Bruce, what sort of freshman, what career-related
Yeah, so
events
that's
do
what I
freshmen
mean. It's
typically
really
pursue? That was
gonna.
Jessica's
I
other
mean, it spans
question.
the board, right? Like, so you would have some students who are interested in research experiences. We would highly recommend they attend research symposiums. They would find out what faculty are on campus and when they're giving separate lectures, that kind of thing. But if you knew you wanted to work in corporate research, well, then we want you to go meet with the recruiters from Abbott Labs, from Amgen, from Amphenol, from Regeneron. Those are the kinds of experiences that we want to put you in touch with at the freshman year level. But they are really dependent on what you want to do personally. And if you come tell us, we can help you with that.
I'd like to add just there also for students that are interested in research that is related to some faculty on campus, we have our undergraduate research program, and we do encourage our freshmen and our sophomores specifically to take advantage of those opportunities. And the way that you learn about them is usually through your faculty, your professors. So they may share a project that they're working on and how they want to hire a student to work with them. That program allows students to get credit or to get a stipend that's connected to the work. So that's also a pre-arch experience that's important for students to consider.
Awesome. Thank you, Dr. Powell. And then we have from Anna M. What does the financial situation look like during the semester away? Do students continue to live on campus if their co-ops and internships are nearby? So to answer the first part of the question, during the semester away, students do not pay tuition and fees or anything of that sort to Rensselaer because that is not one of the semesters that you are enrolled full time. And so all of our students who are on semester away experiences are away from the campus, and any of the students who are in the said Troy area or the greater New York area, they're usually living in respective place to wherever they're going to be working or whatever the case may be. But students do not pay any sort of tuition or anything like that as far as their semester away experience is concerned. And I think Director Bruce was talking a little bit about how students are able to get paid in those co-ops and internships where they're working and the relocation and different things of that nature. So hopefully, Anna, that answers the question for you. And then Acer, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, is the ARCH program different for a 5-year program such as Bachelor's of Architecture degree? Yes, so for architecture students, they participate in the ARCH after their 3rd year of study. That is the biggest difference between a traditional 4-year and a traditional 5-year program for our architecture students. Architecture does ARCH, but they do it in the 3rd year instead of the 2nd year because those students are there for a total of 5 years. Okay. Do we have other questions, Dr. P? Director Bruce, do you guys see anything else? Is there anything else we can answer for the students? Looks like everybody's all set. Okay. So we'll just put that last bit out there. Are there any other questions that we can answer for you all at this time? Okay. So we just want to thank you all for joining us for this Arch at Rensselaer session today. We hope that you received a lot of good information. Please make sure you visit all of those links that have been provided in the chat for those different questions that you have. The main websites are also posted at the very top of the chat. You have the Arch website, you have the Career and Professional Development Center's website, and you also have the Office of Undergraduate Education's website, where you can find out more about research. And you can basically look at those different sites to get an insight of what you would be potentially doing for your semester away, should Rensselaer be the school that you choose, okay? So we just want to say thank you guys again for joining us. Remember to follow at RPI Admissions on our Instagram, and we look forward to seeing you all when your year comes to get to RPI. Thank you all for joining us, and have a great afternoon.